From what I know, this campaign started when different bands posted on Twitter, "Be patient."
Be patient.
Be patient.
Be patient.
And a link to a website.
Heatthing.com.
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 On that website, there was only this text that said "SHONE" under that "Be patient," and then at the bottom, "Heat Thing," which turned out to be a link to their mailing list.
I didn't want to be patient. I wanted to know what it was about and wanted to know what all of my favorite bands were talking about. So I clicked on the link.
I just signed up for the mailing list and started exploring. I was really curious to see what this was going to be, and I guess I liked what I saw.
We weren't really sure what we were signing up for, just that we thought that it was so interesting that so many people were already talking about it and there was such buzz about it.
In the background, there was a video playing of just like a windmill with a really loud screeching noise and different images that would pop up here and there.
I went to play it on my phone and it took me right to a YouTube video, and about 4 seconds in I stopped it because it was too creepy for me to watch.
And there was a windmill and there was a weird noise, and immediately I said, well, this is something strange, it's something weird. But I kept watching and listening. Maybe it was an intro to a song, maybe a song was going to start, and then flash, text that was on the screen. There was a monster on the screen. Well, I didn't know it was a monster at the time, but there was something. So I knew I had to check it out. So I downloaded the video from YouTube, went frame by frame, screen capped everything.
We start going over it frame by frame, looking for all these hidden messages and images put in the video, going back over the audio, reversing it, editing it.
I was kind of squinting as I was watching because I was afraid something would jump out at me. It was just had that creepy, eerie feeling.
It was just this vintage looking photo of a typewriter with a carrot and a few other things in the image. I believe the typewriter is the typewriter that they've been using to type up the letters and all the clues and etc. For example, if you see like this I would assume is what the typewriter was used for. The mailing address and the return address on the packages and the letters were all typed out. The number 1 is missing from the typewriter, and so all the 1s on the addresses have been replaced with a capital I.
Levi Gudmundsson is the individual who's putting up the videos on YouTube and on the website. Levi is a character that may or may not be related to a real person and whose story we're still trying to figure out.
Levi Gudmundsson appears to be the character, if you will, that's leading all of this.
When I first saw the video, I went to YouTube to check out who had uploaded it, and it was Levi Gudmundsson. Gudmonson. Someone said I googled the name of the YouTube account and we got this obituary, and they had spelled it differently, and I thought that was strange. So I went back to YouTube and they had changed the spelling. So the original spelling of his name is different than the spelling that now we've all come to know. But Levi was a real person.
He died on December 21st. I'm not sure exactly which year. He died on the same day that this viral marketing campaign started.
He was born July 1922 in Provo, Utah. He served in the U.S. Navy in World War II. He died in Essex, California on December 21, 2009 at age 87. December 21 is an important date because that's the date this campaign started. So it was no accident that this Levi Gudmundsson was chosen.
As far as I know, he's a fictional creation, probably the main character of the story that's being told on this album.
But the Levi for this project is definitely much more of a mystery. But basically, from what I understand, he's the main character in the story of what SHONE is going to tell in their album.
These days when you sign up for any mailing list, they want your email. And they're going to send you coupons or it's whatever it is, but it's all email based. With this, they want an email and your physical address. So I said pretty early on, I think there's going to be something coming in the mail. I think that's going to be a part of this. And it has been a big part of this.
As soon as people started getting letters, I immediately thought, this is House of Leaves. We're finding clues from letters that are written in very strange text and strange form, with letters going backwards and up and down, and I thought we're all on this big scavenger hunt.
Finally, we were getting something, and somewhere, as vague as they were, it was something like concrete that we had, and we realized that we were actually going to be a part of this whole thing.
When I first saw Slendy Clown, it was like 3 a.m. So that definitely added to the creepiness element of it.
Sort of reminded me of something out of a Tim Burton movie.
I thought this was going to be something I would see in my nightmares. He's the kind of thing that you draw your shades when you go to bed at night because you don't want to see him outside your window.
My theory is I see it as like a dark personality. Like, he kind of just lurks around like Slender Man himself, and I just think it's a great character to have in this whole mystery.
He's holding up a sign that says, "It's okay," and really all that made me believe was that it's not okay.
I have to admit I was freaked out very much, and I would not say that I'm afraid of clowns. I'm a little afraid of him. There's something about him that's just really weird and really too creepy.
I'm also really amazed at just how much effort and craftsmanship the orchestrators of the campaign have. I mean, the letters are so unique and they seem to really fit with the feel of the campaign. I'm just jealous that nobody ever sends anything to Indiana.
Very envious of those people. I think it's pretty cool, especially the fact that some of the packages were directly dropped off by someone. That's definitely something to think about. It's definitely invasive of your space and your privacy, and but at the same time, I think it goes so well with what this whole campaign is about and the Levi Gudmundson character. It's almost kind of like he's stalking people, which is definitely a little creepy.
We just started putting our minds together, and more letters were coming, and everybody was loving it.
The letters have kind of been pieces to a puzzle, or to a whole story, a bigger story.
There's a wax seal with a rose on it. I don't know if you can see it. And you open it up. Mine had coordinates and ink all over it. This typeset. The first batch seemed to tell a story. Then there were the ones with the coordinates.
So I hadn't been home for a couple days when I got that first letter. I left early because I was like, I had nothing to do at home. It was snowing. It was like the first day in New York that it was really snowing. So I lived at the house, and for some reason, even though it was about noon and the mailman shouldn't have come, I decided to go to my mailbox and just check. And when I checked, there was.
I was sitting at home, and a girl posted a photo on Twitter of a letter that she'd received from Levi that had coordinates in it, and when people started asking her questions about it, she just didn't answer. I had nothing to do. It was snowing and it was raining and the weather was really actually pretty awful that day, but I decided that I needed to know, and so I decided to drive out to Long Island.
It has Levi's name at the top here, and then it has my name over here, and no address. So I looked at the mailbox, and it probably was the creepiest things I've ever had to do in my life, because I knew someone was at my house. This is letter 8 of 32. Hello, friend. It seems as though your adventure has just begun. Be forewarned. Another may arrive before you, so waste no time. You may bring a friend, but no more than 2. Please be respectful. Okay, ready? When you arrive, you will find a sign that points to Chelsea Mansion. Follow that path to the right. About 60 average steps should reveal a path/white building to the left. Follow that around to the left. Just past the sink, you will enter the greenhouse. Use a cinder block step. Once in the greenhouse, you will see a door to the left. Look outside through that doorway. You will discover a hobby of mine, making birdhouses. There is a small one hanging from a tree just outside that doorway. It is for you. More importantly, the ground under the birdhouse. Move away some leaves and sticks. There's a black plastic bag. I would hesitate to share the correspondence till you have found what you're looking for. I was early for work, so part of me was just like, you know what? I might as well go. It was like a split decision. I was, you know what? I just have to do it. So I got in my car, plugged it in my phone, the coordinates, and I just went. And I found the mansion where I was supposed to go. And one of the weird parts was, as I go, there was a van with people in it, and they were talking. And the second I walked next to them, they stopped and they looked at me. I walked too far. I didn't see any greenhouse. I didn't see any sink. So I was about to give up. I started walking back to my car. I was like, cold. I barely have gloves on. I was like, forget it. I'm just going to go home. Forget it. I'm done. And as I'm walking back to my car, I see a greenhouse. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'm just going to have to go into it.
When I arrived, the first location was sort of an abandoned greenhouse. There were 4 other kids there, and one of the kids I would come to find out is actually an absolute punk. We know him as Spidey. He said that he'd come earlier, but that someone had already been there and taken whatever it was we were supposed to find.
I walk around the greenhouse by the cinder block step. As I walk into it, I literally said, please no one kill me. I didn't want to die. Walk down another step. And I see a birdhouse on top of a tree.
I started receiving tweets almost immediately that another girl had received a letter and she couldn't go to her location because she had to go to work. And I was about 10 minutes away from where that location was. I was able to get to the new location without any trouble, really. And Spidey also actually ended up going, and we're kind of racing against each other. But lucky for me, with the help of everyone who was tweeting at me, I ended up going to the right one. Spidey went to the wrong side, and I went to the right side. There was an old church or an old building, and behind it, it opened up into this big field, which in the middle of it, there was a reflection pool with a statue of a white woman laying there. Lo and behold, behind the reflection pool was a rather large tree that had fallen, with a bench that had been uprooted after the tree fell. On a branch on this tree, there was a birdhouse.
On the bottom, it said Levi, so clearly it was the right thing I was looking for.
Directly below the birdhouse, the instructions in the letter said that there should be something buried in the ground about 1 foot down.
I looked down, there was a black bag, so I snatched up that black bag as quickly as I could, ran in and out and around, and hustled my ass right back to my car where the van was gone. So that creeped me out even more, that I don't know if someone was watching me, if somebody just happened to be there and left.
And so we dug around for about an hour and a half. We were cold and soaking wet, and decided to call it quits. And we went home feeling defeated. I got to keep the birdhouse. We found out that a guy had gotten there before us, and he had posted piano wire number 12 online.
So I parked my car, and I'm like, all right, I'm already late, but I need to open this thing. So inside the bag was a chest. It's kind of painted, a little brown, no other markings on it. Inside that, another print, a really cool carrot painting. Says Levi on the back. A little note said, if I gave you a gift, would you share it with them? Little USB drive that has SHONE on one side and piano wire number 12 on the other. And apparently somebody else had to get a phone and then was directed to come to the mansion. But I think we just missed each other maybe by 10-15 minutes.
The coordinates led me to this house with a pond with a lady on it. There's supposed to be a birdhouse. I was there too late, got nothing. Went to the wrong place first. There's a mess.
So I'm glad I booked it there and got all these cool things before someone else did. It was just a really, really awesome thing to do, and it made me highly invested in the campaign.
I was so invested in the campaign that I couldn't have been disappointed in the outcome, and luckily the things we've received so far haven't been disappointment worthy.
I heard the chorus for the first time, and I realized how catchy it was, and so then I started listening to it like crazy, and then I realized that it was something that I wanted to pay attention to.
The first thing I did was listen to it again, and I realized, holy crap, this is awesome. And ever since I've loved that song, I've been listening to it quite a bit. It's awesome, and I can't wait to hear another full-length song.
A great song. It's very dark. Has a very dark and intense story underneath it.
I think it's a great song. I think I enjoy it. Part of me doesn't know if I would enjoy it as much without the adventure, because it's not something I would normally listen to. But I think because of all the excitement and the mystery behind it, makes me want to know more about it.
I think it's a great song. I think it's so different from anything. It takes a while to really sink in, but I like that. It's interesting that it's something totally out there.
When the 9 letters started going out and somebody in Virginia got one, I was like, oh, they're sitting outside of New York, maybe I'll get one. And I drove home from work and I opened the mailbox and I literally screamed. And it's really not a letter, it's more of a piece of wood. This is the paper it came with. It says, friends, this is but one of 9. Please reach out to the others in order to piece this together. Thank you for your time.
It looks like this. Inside the package was this tile here. It is just a pastel colored painted tile, and on the back it reads the number 8 and the word slithering.
Number 5 out of 9. This is the front of it. It's just some really cool paint. 5 of 9, and then it says baby shapes. We think that possibly there's a piece above this and to the right of it and to the bottom of it. We're not sure exactly how the grid works yet. Hopefully we will find out soon. Baby Shakes, we think that could be a title of the 5th song on the album. The video flashed up 9 different things that we think are song titles. It also flashed City of Brotherly Love, so we're not sure if that's a song title or if maybe something's going to take place in Philadelphia.
There was a video update, and in the corner of the video screen was a link to Ticketmaster, and it was an event titled SHONE at the Mercury Lounge, which is happening on February 7th.
I am going to the SHONE event in New York. I guess it's a concert. I don't know what's going to happen. People have been saying maybe they'll come out in masks. I think that's probably realistic. I hope we get to see who they actually are.
I am going to the show in Mercury Lounge on the 7th. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I mean, people are joking that Sunday Clown's going to be there and everyone's going to die.
I think that will be the first time they perform these songs. Hopefully we won't all be murdered by the clown.
When they announced that there was a show, I wanted to go so badly, but it's in February in New York, and I'm in Texas, and it's just not going to happen.
I bought 2 tickets, and we will be going to New York for a week.
People are going, and they're going to learn stuff, and I'm going to hear stuff from them, and I decided to be excited for them anyways.
When I went on Ticketmaster to buy tickets, it had already sold out. In one day, a venue that holds 250 people sold out for a band that nobody even knows who it is. If that's not a successful viral marketing campaign, then I don't know what is.
How I dream to see your face, make you pay.
Tons of fun. It has been really probably the best viral campaign I've ever seen.
Tried my best to tell as many people as I could, but at the beginning you didn't know what they were, right?
People are going to places that they don't know. They're giving their address to people they don't know. What is going on?
A lot of my friends thought I was nuts for going by myself to a strange place because of a strange letter that was left in my mailbox.
To see other people come together and try to figure things out, like the lyrics for Piano Wire number 12.
This kind of takes fans and brings them into the process a little bit, and it's up to us to figure out what's going on and where it's going to happen.
They've incorporated so many different things, art prints, weird videos, having the characters.
I mean, at times it can be frustrating when you want to know more and just have all the answers, but knowing that we're all working to uncover this ourselves just makes it so much more rewarding and worthwhile.
I don't think it's over until we have all 9 songs, which I'm assuming it's 9 songs because of the title. I think that this show will probably tell us the most of anything else that has happened, but then again, we'll still see.